Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? Nana Does here. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing fine. I'm going to talk a little bit about this Russia-Ukraine thing. It's more like United States-Russia against Ukraine thing. Just saying. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm sorry this is late, but I've been a little under the weather today and kind of lazy and in PJs, but I did dress up just for you. Yeah, I love you guys. I love you guys. So, cheers, dears. It's not a real cheers if you don't take a sip afterwards. Bad luck too. So yeah, newcomers, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Love me, like me, share me. Don't forget to subscribe. And hangers on. You know I love you. We're getting up to almost 63,000 people. That's a lot in the last week and a half, ain't it? And it's all because of you. It's all because of you. I appreciate you so much. I really do. Okay, let's get into this. There's a statement that Lindsey Graham put out. I'm going to refer to him as Lady G because apparently that's what they call him in Washington, D.C. Lady G says, let me be really clear. I am in the Hitler sucks wing of the party. What is this Hitler shit? I don't know. Anyway, so here's what I do know. You can sit in a basement with weird people and say weird things. It's a free country, right? But if you ever run for office as a Republican and you embrace this weird shit, you're going to get your brains beat out. This coming from Lady G. Not very ladylike. He recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Why? Because if you got a problem with that, take it up with God, he says. He's the guy that did it, not Trump. Really? Then why was Kushner and Ivanka and everybody there clapping and standing around? That was man-made. That was man-made. God had nothing to do with that. So there's that. Yep, he's the guy that did it, not Trump. Excuse me, all to hell. But, well, I mean, I just want to say I feel good about the Republican Party. You should have your head between your knees, kissing your ass goodbye. That's what you should be doing. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people, and we're cutting your taxes. No, you're cutting the top 0.5% taxes, and anybody that's in poverty is going to pay $1,800 more a year. Yeah. And that would be the people you're going to be killing. Just saying. Lady G is a little pom-pom slapping cheerleader for Netanyahu. Just saying. And I think he's on Daddy Vladdy's train too. Lady G said all that stuff, and I believe he made a good living at saying it too. Now, he will disagree with Dear Leader when it serves him, but never longer than a day or two. He says all this shit, and then on the weekend he's golfing and saying, oh, thank you, Mr. President on X there. Thank you, Mr. President. We had such a good round of golf. I really appreciate all you're doing. Thank you so much. You're the best president. Those brag and gag sessions are getting a little fucking old. I'm just saying. He is saying that the peace in Ukraine is possible while Putin believes he is steering the conversation, and that Putin will demand surrender of Ukraine rather than real peace. Well, duh. You already know that because you are privy to the briefings. Just saying. So by this belief, he should be against what Trump, Rubio, Kushner, Dmitriev, and Wickoff are trying to cram down Zelensky's throat, right? So in another excrement, Lady G covers his ass and says, thank you, President Trump and your team for your efforts in the advance of peace. Now that's what I call talking out of your ass. That's what that is. With all dishonorable things the Trump regime has done, Lady G says, I hope that we will soon be able to find an honorable and just peace. You believe in the tooth fairy too? Okay, in season 1, Government of Treachery, Trump and his tribe tried to bribe Zelensky into digging up non-existent dirt on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden with the first impeachment round, basically telling Zelensky to just say it publicly, that you're looking into the wrongdoings of Joe Biden. That's the only words you're looking into. You're investigating Joe Biden. It doesn't matter. Even if you find nothing, you don't even have to believe it's true. Just say those words in a statement on live television. Trump held up aid that was already allotted to Congress, by Congress rather, with the infamous line to Zelensky, "If you want the javelins, we'd like you to do us a favor, though. So if you want those javelins, cough up that statement, won't you?" That was held up for 40 days, that shipment. And basically, just like a mob boss with all his buddies gathering, that was in the White House. All his buddies gathered around the table so he could show off for them. He might as well have just said, "Let me make you an offer. You can't refuse." That's what he could have said, and it would have meant the same thing. Now in season 2, Government of Treachery, the Rogue season, is the year he wants everything golden, from the ballroom to his toilet. Like the Nobel Peace Prize, maybe? And he doesn't care how many wars he has to start to get it. In the last 10 and a half months, he says he stopped up to 10 wars with tariffs. Honey, that's not being a peacekeeper. It's not. That's being an extortionist and bribing countries. That's what that is. Bribery and extortion. That's not making peace. That's not peace. That's illegal. When you make peace, you do it without a price. Lately, as Axios reported on November 19th, Trump and his bootlickers have been secretly meeting behind Ukraine's back and the allies. According to NBC News, consultations have been ongoing with Daddy Vladdy and the Trump's flying monkeys, and approved a 28-point peace plan that went from, oh, that's just Trump, Putin's wish list. Oh, that's not us. That's him. That was leaked. This is that. So in order for peace, Ukraine basically just has to fly the white flag and Russia gets everything it wants, with even more perks. Now Russia wins again, right? They did it back in Crimea. And then they did it now. Well, almost 4 years ago. So Lady Graham, Lindsey Graham, has seen how fucking shady Daddy Vladdy and Trumpy are from their first official meeting when they went to Helsinki, where there were no interpreters. Nobody recorded that meeting. They kicked everybody out, just the two of them. Where he completely exonerated Putin in front of all the cameras and his security team from any blame in the meddling of the 2016 election, because he knows he would have lost without it, just saying, and to save face while making his intelligence and national security people look like total, utter fools. That meeting in Alaska, same thing. Nobody but Putin, his fellas were there, but none of Trump's were allowed. In Alaska this past summer is more revealing than my stroke brain could handle. I'm thinking that as a sovereign country, that Ukraine would be able to make the rules and govern in ways that help them, not Russia. Remember, the first plan only had 20 points. That was just a couple months ago. And then 8 more were added. Some of Russia and America's deals, and I say in quotes, deals, for Ukraine are to give Russia every bit of ground that they set their boots on at any time in the last 4.5 years. Give them every bit of that ground. The Donbass, Zaporizhia, Luhansk, Crimea, list goes on. Then they have to reduce their military by half, and restrict deployment of foreign troops and stop all supplies coming in from Western countries. That leaves them dependent on Russia. And that's not very good. And Belarus. Yeah, so stop all supplies coming in from Western countries, reduce its defense capabilities, and this is, I think, one of the worst parts ever. They have to make Russia the country's official language. So, what exactly is Ukraine getting out of this? Will you tell me? What exactly are they getting out of this? So again, Russia gets everything that belongs to Ukraine. because that was the goal almost 4 years ago. But I guess we'll let them live there and we'll let them work the land like serfs. The Allies, along with Zelensky, are saying a true peace agreement would have Ukraine as a sovereign country in charge of its own security, and Ukraine will be allowed to join any global organization it wishes if there is to be a long-term peace. Now, long-term to Vladdy Daddy, or Daddy Vladdy, is anywhere between 7 to 10 years now, between Crimea and now. U.S. Senator Lady G says he is urging Congress to study the plan that agrees to Ukraine being a sovereign country and involved in ongoing talks. Well, shouldn't they have been all along? Instead of the last stretch of this, they should have been in on the talks all along. But who was at the table? United States, the Qataris, the Emiratis. There was the U.S. Where was Ukraine? They weren't invited. They weren't invited. It's just like Palestine and Israel. Palestinians weren't invited to the Trump-Netanyahu peace agreement. Ukraine seems to be left out in the cold again, and I hope they dig their heels in and say, yeah. So, Russia, sovereign country involved in ongoing talks, and that Russia will not launch another attack in the future. Oh my God. How are you going to stop them? Because Ukraine will have no weapons, they'll have no military, and they'll have to start from scratch again. That's the goal. That's the United States goal, because United States, Russia is going to be a combined country if we don't watch out. Just how will that happen? So the allies in Ukraine have drawn their red line, which hasn't changed, but Trump and his flying monkeys are saying that a signed deal is really close and could be signed when Zelensky comes to the White House tomorrow, ahead of Thanksgiving. Zelensky has said in order to end the war, there must remain a path to NATO and the European Union. But here's the thing. The deal he's wanting is to finalize a joint U.S.-Ukrainian deal. That's what he's coming to the White House for. This, to me, doesn't mention Russia, Ukraine. This is just so Ukraine and the United States to come to some kind of deal, and then they'll work from there. So this is like a triad deal. You have one with the States and Russia, because they're not even talking to the allies or the coalition of the willing. And the coalition of the willing, Ukraine and a few other countries, is the one I'm pulling for. And then, of course, there's the Ukraine-Russia one, which has never even come face-to-face and met before. So, Russia, if you're listening, there are only 2 countries that are getting blown up right now, and they should be the only 2 countries sitting at the fucking table, as far as I'm concerned. And I would tell Trump to go fuck himself and Bubba, because he's in bed with Putin all the way, and he has been for almost 50 years. The only thing he doesn't do is speak Russian, in my humble opinion. So to me, it's the U.S. and Russia versus Ukraine and the allies, where, in my humble opinion, there's a lot more support from Ukraine than anything that the U.S. has ever done for Ukraine. Especially in the last 2 years, because what's Trump doing? Oh, we're helping them, we're sending our... No, you're not sending them arms, you're sending them fuck all. What you're doing is selling weapons. You're a weapons dealer, and you're selling weapons to the everybody around the world except Ukraine, but you're selling it to Europe. So if they want, they can give them to Ukraine, the EU and stuff. Seriously? You're not giving anything. You're selling arms. You are an arms dealer. That's what you are. So fuck off with you're supporting Ukraine. You're not. You're selling arms to countries that might happen to give Ukraine some arms. Trump says Zelensky, if he doesn't sign, he could cut off intelligence to the troops and leave them to their own devices. Really? This has already been done. Remember when Elon Musk was part of the Trump regime there? He did just that. He cut off all satellite service, so all of the communications on the ground for all the Ukrainian soldiers and stuff was down for hours. He knew that. They couldn't use their, nobody could contact anybody. He let a huge shipment of arms that was meant for Ukraine be diverted by Pighead Seth, who sent them to the Middle East. That still hasn't been worked out. that stuff still didn't make it to Ukraine. And oh yeah, this has been bugging me. This has been bugging me for a while. Ever since I seen the Secretary of National Defense, the National Defense Council in Ukraine, Rustem Umerov, posing with, was it Rubio? I think it was Rubio. And he was participating in the negotiations over the weekend in Geneva with Kushner and Dmitriev and all that. Dmitriev sounds kind of Russian to me. I don't know. They were all present. Very shady indeed, if you ask me. Then Zelensky's chief of staff, Andrea Yermak, said to Axios, I hope the visit to the White House will take place as soon as possible because it will help President Trump continue his historic mission to end the war. What's in it for him to end the war? Nothing. It's another debt he's paying to Putin. It's another debt to Putin, that's all. He's carrying out Putin's wish list. Nothing there says Ukraine. He said Ukraine, that suspect is held, right? So he goes on to say Ukraine will not, however, give up its ambition to join NATO in the future despite conditions in the peace plan. Now we live in reality. We are not a member of NATO, Yermak said, specifying that the aspiration for the alliance is the country's constitutional obligation, for which, as of 2019, Zelensky drew up the new part of the new constitution, said the president of Ukraine being the guarantor of the implementation of the state's strategic course for full membership in the European Union and NATO. As of the 23rd of November, the plan has now gone from 28 points down to 19. So I guess they're moving something. And I bet you it's Ukraine that's given up stuff. Kyiv's territory and security and military points are on hold right now because they don't want to talk about telling Putin to fuck off. You're not getting our land. Get out. You invaded. You don't get it. You don't get spoils. Go away. So they want Ukraine to give up territory and all their arms and security? I don't think so. So anyway, that's how I'm feeling about that. But when I seen that guy in his military uniform and everything, I think he's the chief, Zelensky's chief of staff, standing there saying, go Trump. Oh, my grandmother says to make sure ours will do one of these. Ooh, like, ooh. Yeah. I don't think that should be in the cards. I really don't. So anyway, this has gone on long enough. I'm going back to my couch and taking my llama with me. Llama alpaca. Alpaca. It's alpaca. That's what it is. So anyway, cheers, dears. I hope you all have a good night. Most of the snow is gone because it's been raining off and on all day. And take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. I love you so much. Love me, like me, share me. Don't forget to subscribe. We're really building something here that I'm pretty proud of, and I got a good team with me. All of you. All right. I love you. Vivi's passed out on the couch over there. She says woof. Talk to you soon. Good night.